Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
We also have news on all different sectors, from Bitfinex / hackers recoveries, I should speak, from news on the Ripple v SEC lawsuit / SEC news, but also the complete opposite side, from governments into crypto. It's just really freaking crazy. Now, first of all, there's some news which came out from Empower Oversight, and this is just through my likes here over on Twitter. As I've been scrolling through here for the last couple of hours, just make sure I press the like button on everything that's important so you guys can hopefully find it back over on my Twitter. First of all, this is what went on whilst I was sleeping. Breaking news: document released by Empower.us reveals the SEC found approximately 1,000 pages of records detailing communications between William Hinman and Simpson Thacher while he was in office, responsive to Watchdog Group's FOIA request. So a little bit earlier, right? Empower was basically questioning the SEC to release a lot of documents, anything that really was resembling whatever they were looking for, like communications and whatnot. They said, no, we don't have them. And now all of a sudden, 1,000 pages have been found, which are contacts between William Hinman and a specific law firm whilst he was working at the SEC. So again, that's what John Deaton has been shouting all this time. This is again a literal caught type of moment, because the SEC is now caught with a very near perfect argument for a conflict of interest. Why? Well, because again, if you are talking a lot, 1,000 pages of communications with a law firm while you're working at the SEC, and then you go switch up to a law firm, there's a good chance you're doing something for the law firm while you're in the SEC, or at least you're biased. Document appears to be a letter memorializing apparently combative conversations between Empower and the SEC staff over claims of no responsive documents, now subject of litigation in group's investigation of potential conflict of interest of Hinman, Clayton, and Berger. In 1/28 call, which I think is the 28th of January, right? The SEC staff claimed an error in previous search was corrected, and the more than 1,000 documents were uncovered linked to the Hinman-Simpson-Thacher request. Other search ongoing. So Empower said, we don't really accept your "we haven't found any documents" response. Look again, right? We're asking the judge to make sure you look again. And now there's a whole email thread within the SEC that says, Oh, sorry. We made a little mistake. Oh, oopsie. Oopsie doopsie. Well, it don't work like that, you know? If you ask me, it doesn't work like that. However, a couple of SEC internals were also not agreeing with the error that was made inside there. Now, Thatcher request over search is ongoing. Empower US further demanded details on search methods because, hey, how can you do that wrong? Read the full documents here. The behind-the-scenes detail of SEC staff fighting this group's investigation is why Congress needs to step up and conduct an independent investigation of this matter. Why? Because what Empower US is doing is just trying to investigate whether or not there was a conflict of interest. The fact that they are hiding information, or potentially hiding information, or trying to hide information makes absolutely no sense. This is a government agency. They should be as open as humanly possible to make sure we have all the answers that we would need. Why in the world? I'm gonna break my freaking. Why in the world would they want to hide something from us? I absolutely don't get why there would ever be a oopsie, we didn't find anything, when it's a literal investigation against misuse of power or conflict of interest. They should be with open arms saying, please take a look at this. If you think there's a conflict of interest, let us address this, please. But no, they're like, oh, you trying to investigate? Ain't no way. Which again makes them like 1,000 times more suspicious if you ask me. So a couple of guys were going back and forth here. Again, do the thing that you do, make the mumbo jumbo make sense. Thanks, man, against Jeremy Hogan. So again, in simple words, so you think your girlfriend is cheating on you, right? With a guy named John. And you ask her to search her phone for any communications with John. She says, well, I checked Facebook and I never messaged any guy named John. And now you're asking her to check text messages also. And all of a sudden she finds 1,000 things. It's like, oh, okay. Ooh. Now, okay, that's point number one. All right, that's a little subject number one, which was rather interesting. And for some reason, it's still a little bit laggy. So please, guys, let me actually quickly pause it while we are trying to load the previous page. Okay, so you're seeing it hopefully right here. Empower is also like, well, so the previous admission was actually false. And so Empower Oversight expects full, legally required transparency from the SEC because what in the world just happened right here? Alright, we are back at my liked page. So John Deaton says some people like DAI have said the SEC didn't see John Deaton coming. Well, John Deaton didn't see Jason Foster and Empower US coming. I tip my hat to you, sir. I speak for 65,000 people when I say thank you for your demand of transparency. And oh boy, do I agree with that. Now that's one part. And again, we can't cover every single thing which happened today because there's literally too much. And I have a couple different videos that I guess I should make on the matter. But I guess this is definitely one of the most important points. Wrath of Kahneman shared this. Regulators ought to get their arms around Tether. There's frankly more reason for the SEC to be looking at Tether than for them to be looking at Ripple and XRP. Again, going really deep into this article, I think we have to do it in separate videos, otherwise this video would take 40 hours. However, my little quick comment there that a lot of people are over or underestimating, depending on how you look at it, is this right here. I said, so many crypto guys are saying the government should look at Tether. Please investigate Tether, yada, yada, yada. And even though I honestly think that's a really good thing to say, and I firmly agree with the matter that whatever is happening at Tether might not be so juicy, there's one thing which many people are underestimating. That's the fact that if Tether goes down or something happens, I hold a lot of Tether. I think the majority of people in crypto hold a lot of money in stable coins as a whole. The whole stablecoin massacre that could come out of this could definitely be very bad for the crypto space as a whole, and it might literally break a lot of your money that you thought was stable, which is again not so juicy to actually think about. Plus the fact that the crypto market will most likely crash. Then again, I'd rather have that than have a unsustainable little Ponzi with Tether going on. Of course, I agree with that. But you must understand that if Tether gets an investigation and the result is very negative, that crypto will most likely crash again. Then again, guys, these videos are not financial or legal advice. This is just my opinion, and I may be wrong, but that's just a thought that I think you should also keep in the back of your head, right? Not use this to the full. Make sure you do your own due diligence. Let me add that. Now, Ripple's lawyer's advice on digital tokens set for unsealing in key SEC case. This is actually really fun. Ripple's lawyer's advice on digital tokens set for unsealing in the SEC case. Was the blockchain company Ripple Labs forewarned by its own lawyers that it contemplated sale of XRP digital tokens would trigger yada yada yada? There's a full-on debate going on right now about this matter, and actually about matters really closely relating to it. So one of the most important notes to make is how the implications or effects of this lawsuit will ripple through, pun intended, in the rest of the crypto market. There's so many talks, there's so many thoughts about what XRP is or what a cryptocurrency or security in a digital asset form really is right now. But at the end of the day, the majority of the things are really not known. However, to not digress too much from the whole Tether thing, we all remember Bitfinex, Tether, the whole situation, right? Well, or I guess we should say we remember a lot of crypto hacks from the past. We remember a lot of Tether interesting parts in the past. But one of the most important statements is this. There was a hack in 2016 of Bitfinex, which was $3.6 billion worth in today's money. At that time, it was, I think, 72 million. Below is a statement of facts from the criminal case in which the FBI, IRS, and HSI describe how they traced and seized $3.6 billion in Bitcoin stolen during the 2016 hack of Bitfinex. Makes for an interesting read. Even though I can definitely suggest you check it out, let me tell you guys one of the most beautiful things ever about this situation. You know, guys, one thing that a lot of people are forgetting is, actually here, the Osman said, hey, Dusty, would love to get your opinion on this. Could this crash the spike if they decide to sell it? That depends on a couple of different factors. Let me tell you guys exactly how and why. So, $3.6 billion right now has been found back. It says here the Justice Department announced Tuesday morning it seized more than $3.6 billion in allegedly stolen Bitcoin linked to the 2016 hack. Officials said they arrested some guys, or I guess a gal and a wife. I don't want to say the names out loud, but a wife. The couple is scheduled to make their initial appearance in the federal court later in the day. And the most important part about this is all the people that got their money stolen, Bitfinex actually reimbursed. So the most interesting part is that I believe Bitfinex is going to get the $3.6 billion. At least that's what it looks like. Because we're talking about a certain amount of Bitcoin. And as it currently stands, if let's say it like this, right? If I had $100,000 on Bitfinex at the time, all right, and it gets hacked, I'm like, oh, damn, I lost my money. But the exchange decides to reimburse me. I'm like, oh, okay, nice. And even though that took a couple of years, I did get my money back. So I'm like, ooh, that's annoying, but okay, so be it. Now, all of a sudden, 6 years later, the exchange gets the money back also. So their initial reimbursement, they took the hit for $70 million. But right now, they basically borrowed $70 million while getting $3.6 billion back because it's all Bitcoin that we're talking about. I think it depends a little bit on what's going to happen, depending on, first of all, if they actually get it back, because the government might be like, here's your 72 million, we keep the rest. The Bitcoin might be auctioned off. In that sense, that could be so. But it could also be so as in this is going to be a 4-year operation where they need to make sure that this person because I think that's what's going to be the case, right? A lot of people are, this is the chair, by the way, I'm not farting like crazy, you know? I have to make sure I get everybody that little same message. Also, let me see if this thing works again. A little bit. Hopefully we're in the clear. I might try the camera then again. It's going to depend a little bit. It could be that the funds basically get gifted over within a month to Bitfinex. It might be that none of it get given over. That's going to depend. But generally speaking, if Bitfinex get it, I don't think they're going to sell it. If the IRS or whatever keeps it, or the government, whatever entity, FBI, it's most likely going to be auctioned off, and that would be not so juicy. Why? Well, because there's a lot of money, so a lot of different parties are going to get the chance to bet on it, and it's $3.6 whatever billion. You know, that's a lot of money. So I don't think the consequences of that would be too amazing. However, that would most likely, if I were to guess, take a couple of years, because as far as I know, this person first needs to be found guilty, because even though the stolen money has been found, you still have to prove every single part of that before you can send it away again, which again might take a very long time. Now, Brad said, to see a statement like this is incredible, and reaffirming to say in many things and reaffirming to so many in the space using crypto for good after years of FUD that crypto is only for criminals. At the end of the day, one of the major things that regulators used to use was that crypto was only for criminals, right? But at the end of the day, the biggest hack, well, the money has been recovered. So, with cash, that don't happen like that. Crypto is actually way safer than cash in terms of finding criminals, because you can't really get the money away completely. You can try to filter it in as many ways as you want, but at the end of the day, if some exchange wants to mark it, what they'll do is they'll mark the initial Bitcoin, and whatever that goes, it will always stay marked. And unless there's so many, bad actors who don't try to follow your scheme, which is again only possible due to dysregulation, meaning there's not enough regulation to officially do this following the rules. If there was, it's going to be so hard to actually basically wash the Bitcoin white, because generally speaking, it's going to be able to be found back again, basically being traced back. And that's again a really fun concept that's been quite trending right now. A lot of people are talking about that. Again, there's a little bit more in the Ripple lawsuit part, but okay, another really interesting part. Valkyrie's Bitcoin miner ETF now trading on the Nasdaq. Again, guys, major news, major steps. Just in, Shiba Inu announces virtual real estate Shiba lands will be available for purchase/activation soon, as Shiba is set to enter the metaverse in 2022. It's just so much is happening right now. Ross and Layton said, so XP was always a security, which was purportedly obvious since 2013, even though SEC didn't know until December 2020. Hinman said we, but meant I, and now no responsive documents is actually 1,000 pages of records. SEC's arrogance is astounding. Again, they're playing a really crazy game with us. Wells Fargo said crypto could soon enter an inflection point of hyper adoption. Remember that, a crazy amount of things could come from all of this. And then last but not least, breaking news. The Russian government and central bank have just reached an agreement on crypto. According to Russian Kommersant, both organizations will treat Bitcoin and crypto assets as currencies. Guys, my mind is absolutely broken. This is a crazy update for crypto. Crazy amount of cool stuff happen right now. I am literally gonna go out and drink some water. This is crazy though, guys. This is crazy. A lot of juicy news, and I have even more, but I guess I want to kind of cover that in different episodes coming here shortly. All I want to quickly say about the XRP price as well, just a quick little 2 cents, is I told you all I'm not going to do any charting when you guys are not there, right? I'm actually do screen only if I can, otherwise it's gonna go out of sync again. So the only thing I want to quickly add is right now we're again at a very interesting point. Right now as we speak, we're coming to a very interesting point, as what I'm expecting again, guys, is just following what we're seeing right here, that within a couple of hours, potentially, depending on how we fall here, if we come back to 83 cents or so, 83.7 cents, then we're most likely going to see a crazy bullish breakout again in the short term. Well, at least if we do, is most likely going to be in the same pattern which we saw a couple of days ago here, the bullish pennant. And again, how that looks like, if you're wondering, is basically like this. You get a little, insert like this, starts to go trending, basically converging before a breakout. And this breakout is usually as pretty significant, let's just put it like that. You can see here, I typed it in on the Googles, and I did not find the exact same picture I'm noticing now. Let's quickly see if we can find the exact same picture. I guess here we go, right? So again, you have a bullish impulse, or basically the flag pole. Then you have the basically the flag itself, and you enter after it's confirmed, I actually personally would not take this trade. If this is the bullish pennant, I usually, you either enter once it's broken out to the top side, but I honestly don't like to do that. Why? Because what we see very often is that the next candle is extremely red and right back in. What I usually do is, if this candle is green, the breakout candle, plus the candle afterwards, which is the confirming candle, then I enter. And usually, very often, this second candle, I'm not going to say usually, but very often, comes right back down. And if it gets right to half, I instantly buy. And usually if it's at the top, it depends a little bit on the shorter term, but I try to also, it again just basically depends on this second candle, depending on how far it comes down and whatnot. But let's say this ends green, we usually decide to buy into this one. I'm sorry, I meant this one. If it's halfway down, like we're almost seeing right here as well, I wanted to say, if this one is halfway down, I usually insta buy. And even if it's a small, it doesn't matter, just try to buy into that. And our target, you can see how it goes, literally. It's usually like the input is the output in some sense. With trading, it's very often like that. But we're gonna have to watch and see how this unfolds over the next couple of hours. But again, sometimes negative means positive from some perspective, because right here we'd actually want to potentially hit the bottom once more before actually breaking out towards the top. And that would mean a little correction over the next couple of hours before breaking out. But even right now, I'm honestly, guys, if we break out right now, I still am going to stick to my bias of just staying positive on XRP. Our trades are still doing good for both Bitcoin and for XRP, both in about $900 worth of profit. On our Bitcoin trade, 120%. On our XP trade, 270% in profit right now. Make sure you check out Bybit, a link is down below, and I'm going to see you guys again in another video later today. I think we covered the most important stuff right now. Yeah, I had some more stuff about some of the crypto prices, but I guess I'll cover that in a different video here. As I wanted to say, right now we're playing ping pong, right? You can see it here over on the XRP chart.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.